My name is Kyle Martin, and I was an E-4 electronics technician in the United States Navy. I am 60% disabled, according to the Department of Veterans Affairs, with an injured back, among other ailments. On June 18, 2011, I did something to hurt my back because around 3 p.m. it really started to hurt. As the day progressed, I was no longer able to stand straight up, and I could barely walk. I iced my back and rested it. Sunday, the symptoms seemed to ebb, and I continued to rest, knowing I had to work the next day. On Monday, June 20th, 2011, I woke up with pain worse than what I had felt either Saturday or Sunday. However, I went to work. I called the telenurse program around 11 a.m. to ask if there was anything I could take over the counter to combat the symptoms, but was told I needed to come in and be seen. This was the only answer that the nurse was willing to give me. I ended up having to leave work early and be seen at the VA, as I lost almost all ability to walk, and even while sitting, my pain was between a 7 and a 9 on a 1 to 10 scale. I arrived at the VA at around 4 p.m. and was told that there was a 4 to 6 hour wait to be seen, which I expected. What I did not expect was the brash and almost mean-spirited treatment that I received from the ER desk nurse, Desus. She was short, disattached, and totally unwilling in any way to even act interested in my problem. This treatment continued until around 9:30 p.m. when I asked if I could have a new estimate on the time it would take to be seen, as I'd been sitting in racking pain the entire time, and when asked if I could have something for it, I asked for ibuprofen, which for those of you who go to the VA, you know that they hand that stuff out like candy. The only reply I got from Desus was, quote, "Sir, we told you when you got here there was a 4 to 6 hour wait." I told her I understood, and I was just looking for a new idea on the wait, as the 6 hours had almost passed. She and the security guard there with her said that there was no new ETA and I needed to sit down and wait to be seen. At 11:45 p.m., with others who had waited for hours as well, I decided to record a few interviews to give a perspective on how long others had waited along with me.
Kyle Martin at the emergency room at the VA hospital. I don't know if you can see it, but the time is currently 11:45, and I and a couple of the other people here have been sitting for varying times since 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. this evening with differing levels of injury. Hi, I'm Kyle Martin. Would you mind telling us your name, how long you've been here, and what your injury is?
I've been here since 2 o'clock, and I'm in pain.
2 o'clock p.m.?
Yeah, 2 o'clock p.m.
And you're in pain?
11 what?
And your name, ma'am?
Cindy.
Cindy? And you're here with a
Dislocated shoulder.
dislocated shoulder. And you've been here, and you just had back surgery 2 months ago, and you've been here since what time? About 6 o'clock p.m. And have you felt since you got here that the VA has cared at all about you or your injury? And you're
I've been asked to just a sling, and I would go home and come back, another time.
and they said no?
She said, "I'll be with you in a few minutes," and that was 30 minutes ago.
You're a veteran, ma'am?
Yeah,
6 years Army? And you, sir?
2 years on.
2 years Army. Thank you, guys. I sincerely appreciate you being willing to share your story. Here it is, 12:10 a.m., and we are still waiting to be seen. Obviously, it is ridiculously busy here. Here it is, 12:25, and finally she's being seen. Good luck. And here it is, 1:40, and Mr. Gray just finally got to go back. He's only been here since 2 p.m., so literally took 12 hours to see. We were just greeted by the doctor on duty. He described to us the fact that he's got several patients with chest pain, different acute issues, and he's the only doctor on staff. If that's the case, then the federal government has a very serious problem on their hands when the Dallas VA hospital has one doctor on staff and he has multiple people with acute issues. What the hell is that? Here it is, 2 o'clock, still haven't seen anybody, and now 2 people are about to give up the ghost.
At 3:26 a.m., I was finally brought back to an exam room and was seen by the doctor, where he literally spent 5 minutes in the room with me. In the end, I was diagnosed with sciatica and was finally given a shot of something like morphine for pain relief, and was prescribed cyclobenzaprine as a muscle relaxer, prednisone as an anti-inflammatory, and tramadol for pain. As I stated in my timeline, the doctor came out around 1:45 a.m. and in a huff described how he was the only doctor on staff and had several patients in the ER with acute issues like chest pain. I can respect the fact that I am by no means an emergency case, especially when compared to a veteran having a heart attack. However, when you're someone like Cindy and have a dislocated shoulder and you have to wait 6 hours to receive any level of care, or worse yet, someone like Mr. Gray who waited 12 hours in racking pain, there's a problem. All the while, we were surrounded by staffers who really didn't act like they wanted to be there. The after-hours administrator had much the same attitude as the nurse and the doctor, basically making me feel as though I was wasting their valuable time and I should feel lucky to get to stand in their presence. This is nothing new either. Anyone who has used the VA emergency room can attest to this fact. A problem complicating these issues is the fact that there are no instant care options when you have something that is a non-emergency issue, but that needs to be looked over now, like a sickness or a minor injury, other than going to the emergency room at the VA. There is supposedly a clinic that is for issues like this, but they are only open during government business hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Setting up an appointment with your primary care provider isn't an option in these cases either, as most primary care providers have an appointment log a month out. When I talked to the patient advocate and told her what happened, she expressed shock but told me that they don't employ full-time ER doctors, that the ones they have are there supplementing their income as a part-time come-and-go-as-they-please shift. What's wrong with the system when the government can't entice doctors to come work for them full-time to treat veterans? What does that say about the future of the health care bill when this is the type of care we give to those who gave so much to us? Congress doesn't seem to care. I sent a note to Mac Thornberry, my congressman, and got a call, but never heard anything else about my previous issues with the VA. Senator John Cornyn was worse. I sent him a letter, and his letter response was about the energy crisis. At no point in his letter did it say anything about the VA. It seems to me that this is an issue that the government doesn't care about, like they have a mentality of, they pick up the tab, what else can they do? Well, it's time for a change to business as usual at the VA. I could go on about other problems that the entire veteran system has, like a 6 to 9 month wait to have a disability claim managed, or the way they are completely making GI Bill useless. But that's a different video for a different day. If this video has moved you at all, please contact your representation in the House and Senate. Send them a link to this video. Tell them you think this is wrong. Finally, and on a personal note, I would like to make a quick statement to anyone and everyone working at VA clinics everywhere. I understand that times are tough and that you have to take a job wherever it might come. But if you don't like the medical field, if you don't like caring for people, then maybe it's time to go back to school and pick a new job. And if you don't like veterans, then you can't care for us. Treating us like we're dirt, treating us like we are a waste of your time, treating us like we have no effect to the bottom line, is not the way to go. My experience at the VA crushed my soul on Monday. It was literally one of the most depressing and heartbreaking things I've ever experienced. And it's people like that that make me sorry I was a veteran. I broke my body to give you the right to act like a bitch. And just because you have the right doesn't mean you should. So the next time that you decide to go to work, turn that frown upside down and be happy, or at least act happy. And if you can't do that, then pick a new job, because obviously you're miserable. Thank you.